It all began with a dream to build a self-sufficient ranch in the heart of the valley. I had poured my heart and soul into this property, establishing a small but thriving homestead with crops, livestock, and a deep well to keep the land hydrated. Everything was going smoothly until the HOA got wind of my plans to dig an additional well. The HOA, which managed the surrounding properties, was notoriously overbearing. They had already made life difficult for me by imposing restrictions on fence height, the types of trees I could plant, and even the color of my barn. But when they banned me from digging my own well, things took a turn. I had an underground water source deep beneath my land, and it was more than enough to supply my farm, but the HOA claimed that digging a well on my property would violate their regulations. They argued that it could impact the local water supply despite no evidence to support this claim. At first, I tried to negotiate with them. I showed them my permits, outlined my plans, and assured them that it wouldn't affect the broader community. But they were unmoved. The HOA was determined to control every aspect of life on the land, even if it meant undermining my ability to survive. Frustrated, I realized that there was no point in appealing to people who didn't care about fairness or logic. Then a thought crossed my mind. The HOA had control over the land surrounding my ranch, but they also owned a large parcel of land where they kept around 2,500 cattle. That's when I came up with a plan that would give me the upper hand. If they wouldn't let me dig a well for my ranch, then I would take away their water supply. I spent days working in secret, quietly disconnecting the water lines that fed the HOA's cattle, rerouting the system in a way that wouldn't be immediately obvious. When the job was done, I turned off the water completely. The HOA's cattle were dependent on that water supply, and within days, the impact became evident. The animals were thirsty, and the HOA had no backup plan. They scrambled to find a solution, but by then it was too late. The HOA was forced to lift the ban on my well, but the damage had already been done. They quickly understood the consequences of underestimating me, and I was left with the well I had always wanted. Not only did I regain control over my property, but I also gained the respect of the HOA, something they hadn't expected when they first decided to push me around. In the end, I got what I needed to maintain my ranch, and the HOA learned an important lesson about not messing with someone who had nothing left to lose. My ranch thrived, the cattle were rehydrated, and I had my own water source, forever free from their interference. Sometimes standing up for what's right means making bold moves, and in this case, it paid off.